Hi everybody, this is Jenny Abrams with Abrams Home Solutions, and today I am back to give you some information on how to move forward with a project when you are feeling really overwhelmed. And this is something I hear about from my clients over and over. They tell me that they are so overwhelmed with their space or with their project or with their move that they don't even know where to start. And so I'm going to give you some information today that will hopefully help you moving forward with that. So when you are feeling overwhelmed, the most helpful thing to do is to put an action plan together. So let me give you an example. Yesterday, my son gave me a toy that he wanted me to put together, and it was a huge toy and had a million parts, and I thought, oh my God, how am I going to put this thing together? And what I did was, of course, reach for the instructions. And the instructions led me through step by step how to put this toy together. And at the end, I did it and he was super happy. And that's the same thing when you're moving or downsizing or organizing. You want to put a plan together, step by step instructions, so that you have an action plan to follow and you know what comes first and what will follow. So when I put an action plan together, these are the components that I use. So the first thing would be your priorities. Is your priority to move? Is it to downsize? Is it to organize a space? What in that realm is going to be first? So it might be, if you're moving or downsizing, maybe you want to sell some furniture. Maybe you want to sell collections. If you have a craft room, which I'm going to be doing coming up shortly next month, maybe it's to inventory all the products that you have in that room so you know what you need to buy and what you don't need to buy. So that's the first step. The second thing would be your goals. Is your goal to move? Is your goal to downsize? Is your goal to make a space more functional? Is it to organize your papers so you can find things easier? What is the goal? So the priorities and the goal are always the first things you want to start with. The next thing would be your budget. Is there anything that you are going to need to spend money on for this project? Maybe not, but maybe you're going to need to hire packers, movers, a junk hauler. So what expenses are you going to incur with that? If you need to buy any products for the room or for the space or for your move, what are the expenses going to be with that? Maybe you're going to need to buy some bins, some containers, some boxes, some tape. What is it going to be? We need to identify that ahead of time as well. Also, what is the schedule? What's your timeline for your overall project? Do you need to be out of your home in a month? Do you need to downsize and you're thinking this will take 6 months? Are you organizing a room in your home, organizing paper, and you've set a goal that you want to try to have this done within a week? You know, what is the timeline that we're working towards? Also, what are the resources that we're going to need? What are the vendors that we might need to contact? What do you need to contact a packing and moving company? Do you need to contact a junk hauler? If you're selling collections, what are the vendors that we might want to contact? If you are donating items, clothing, furniture, all different kinds of different things, what are the organizations that we might want to contact to donate those things? Will they pick up? Do we need to drop off? So we need to establish that ahead of time as well. We also need to establish a shopping list. So sometimes we need to purchase some things in the beginning. Sometimes we might need to purchase things halfway through a project or towards the end. In the beginning, you might need some boxes, you might need some tape, you might need some garbage bags. You know, what are we going to use in the beginning? As the project goes on, there are other supplies that we're going to need to buy as well. So establishing a shopping list and knowing what things we need to have up front and what things we might need to get later on would be really helpful for your action plan as well. Sometimes I'm working with clients and I help them source product, and I tell them when to go out and buy these things. So one client, we are organizing a basement and we're going to be putting some shelving up, but we don't want to do that right away because we don't know how much shelving we're going to need. Now that we've worked towards the beginning part of her project and we're entering the middle part of the project, I've told her what to go out and buy, where to get it, and she's going to be getting that for the next stage of our project together. So when you put all of these different things together and any other notes that are pertinent to the project, it's really helpful to get yourself started so you aren't feeling so overwhelmed. Similar to when you are driving in your car and you're using your navigation. You put the address in, it tells you where to turn, how long it's going to take you, how many miles, and the overall time for your to reach your destination. That's very similar with this action plan. It tells you step by step how you're going to start, what turns you're going to make, how long the project is going to take, and when you're going to get to your end destination. So I really recommend writing all of this down, thinking it through. It's going to help you to feel less overwhelmed. The second thing I want to mention is it's always good to have a few supplies to get started. So you don't want to overwhelm yourself going out and buying bins and all these things that you may not need, but it's always helpful to have some garbage bags or some containers on hand, because as you're sorting and as you're moving through your project, you're going to want to determine what things you're going to toss, what things you're going to donate, what things you might need to move to another space in your home. So it's helpful to have a few supplies on hand when you start the project. But don't go crazy buying a whole bunch of things that you might not need and that you can purchase down the road when you have a better sense of how your project is going. The last thing I want to mention is you don't have to tackle all of these things in one day. So when you first started high school or you first started college and you looked at all the classes that you needed to take and all the things you needed to do to graduate, well, it's super overwhelming and you might think, how am I ever going to get through this? But day by day, month by month, you accomplish different things and you move towards that end goal. So you don't want to think about everything you need to do at the beginning. You just want to think about getting started, doing one thing to move your project forward. So if you're organizing your master bedroom, start with a couple of drawers. If you're organizing your home office, start with one filing cabinet. If you are thinking of organizing your whole basement, start with a corner of the room. Just start with one small aspect of the project. Work for 30 minutes, set a timer, take a break, do something enjoyable for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and then set a timer and do it again for another 30 minutes. And at the end of that, that might be all that you can do for the day. But just getting started, just seeing some progress will help you continue the momentum, continue the motivation to see the project through. So I hope that gave you a few ideas for getting your project started. I know it can be very overwhelming when you're looking at all of it at one time and thinking, how am I ever going to accomplish this? But if you break it down into these steps, hopefully that'll get you started. If you would like to contact me, feel free to email me, call me if you need any further suggestions. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you back again soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.